What is up, guys? Lonehawk here today, and welcome to my Overwatch July 19th patch analysis. In today's video, we'll cover all the changes that just went live on PC and will soon go live on consoles, and I'll give my thoughts and opinions as to what they mean for the game. We'll start off with the biggest change made, and that is the addition of Ana to the game. For those of you unaware, Ana is a support sniper that brings a lot of utility to the support position. I think Ana will help you solve the no supports problem that happens a lot in quick play. However, I should note that Ana is not a very good healer on her own. She complements Lucio and Mercy very well, but she doesn't have a sustained healing like both of them, and she shouldn't really be used as your only support. She functions similar to Zenyatta in that she is great as a secondary support and a utility support. If you want to know more about her, you can go check out my Ana quick guide, link will be in the description. Speaking of Zenyatta, he has received a pretty large buff. He now has 150 shields and 50 HP, up from 100 shields and 50 HP. His Orbs of Discord and Harmony move 4 times faster, and on top of this, Transcendence is much better, as it doubles his move speed and heals for 300 HP per second instead of 200. He also had a minor change in his Orbs of Destruction's damage, in that his primary fire, which is bound to your left click if you're on PC, will deal 40 damage instead of 45 now, and his alternate fire will also deal 40 damage instead of 35 now. Overall, I think this will make Zenyatta an excellent secondary healer. His Orbs of Discord still allow your team to kill important targets very quickly, and with 50 more shields, Zenyatta is caught out less and can actually win some 1v1s when played right. I expect his win rate to increase by 1.5% in the near future. The next big buff was to D.va. Her defense matrix is now on a new cooldown system. Instead of going on a static cooldown, now defense matrix has a resource meter which depletes when activated and recharges slowly when not activated. This alone makes her much more viable, as she can now frontline much more effectively than before. Pair her with a Reinhardt and it's going to be very hard to hit your damage dealers. Along with the changes made to her defense matrix, her self-destruct has been changed as well, receiving an absolutely massive buff. It recharges 15% faster, the explosion delay was reduced to 3 seconds instead of 4, and it no longer damages the D.va that activated it. This is honestly massive. I'm surprised Blizzard went ahead and made such a large buff so quickly. I expected them to slowly try to bring D.va into the meta, but they decided to do it all in one patch. I'm not going to say D.va is OP, because I think she's fairly well balanced from what I can tell right now, but she might be. She might be a hidden OP hero, and her win rate could take off. We still have to keep in mind, though, that D.va has almost no range, and her damage up close isn't even all that great. So while she may be a huge tank and her ultimate may be fantastic now, her ultimate isn't up all the time, and she's going to have to get really close to enemies to be effective. Unless I'm wrong and she goes totally OP and just blows everyone away, I expect to see a 2% win rate increase for D.va. 2 heroes have also received small changes, those being McCree and Mercy. McCree's Peacekeeper now has increased range, so the damage falloff is much lower than it was before. This is a bigger buff than it may seem, because after his initial nerfs, McCree was pretty garbage. Now we see that McCree will reward high skill aim at longer ranges, and his flashbang still provides him with good utility up close. The one thing I'd like to mention, though, is that his Fan the Hammer is still garbage. If you land a flashbang on someone up close, it's almost always best to just try to aim for their head and land 1 or 2 headshots on them with your primary fire. There may be situations where Fan the Hammer is better, however, right now I don't really recommend using it. I know it's a fairly small change, but it actually means a lot to McCree, so I expect his win rate to increase by 2 or 3%. Mercy's changes, in my opinion, weren't as beneficial as McCree's. These include a 30% increase in the time it takes to charge her ult, her damage boost will no longer stack with other Mercy's damage boost, her Guardian Angel instantly resets on use, but now she doesn't stop moving when she revives people. To me, this honestly seems like a huge nerf, which is weird because Blizzard said they wanted to buff Mercy not too long ago. I don't know, maybe you disagree with me, but the ability to move while you're ulting doesn't seem worth it when the drawbacks are 30% increased time it takes to get your ults, and the inability to stack your damage boost with other mercies, which I guess never really happened. Still, I don't think is worth it. I'd rather have that 30% shorter time and not be able to move when I'm ulting than have it take a little bit longer and be marginally safer while reviving. Because to be honest, if you're reviving people, you're already vulnerable. You're mercy. People are going to kill you because you're not going to be moving very fast anyway. So basically, Blizzard made it take 30% longer to charge your ult, in my opinion, just so you could move at a walk speed while reviving. Doesn't seem worth it to me. In this patch, I expect Mercy's win rate to go up by 2%. Wait, did I just say up? Even though I told you she got nerfed? Wait, what? Yes. Actually, I do think Mercy's win rate is going to go up. I know I just told you that in my opinion she was nerfed, but Ana was just added to the game, and with lots of games the trend is whenever a new hero is added, the new hero's win rate is pretty low because people haven't learned all the tips and tricks with her. And since Mercy is a direct competitor to Ana, both of them being supports, I think the people that don't know how to play Ana are going to increase Mercy's win rate when they're playing against her. Other than that, there were 3 heroes whose ult charge times were changed. Those are Soldier 76, Lucio, and Roadhog, and if you pay attention, you'll notice that they all have something in common. Yes, they can all self-heal. Lucio and Soldier 76's ult charge times take 10% longer now, and Roadhog's takes 45% longer, which may seem like some huge nerfs, but now they made it so self-heals charge your ultimate. So those 3 heroes will actually probably see similar times it actually takes to charge their ultimate. Soldier 76 and Lucio both marginally heal themselves from time to time, so that 10% should be negated, and at least when I'm playing Roadhog, I use my self-heal all the time. So that 45%, even though it seems like a lot, I don't actually think will be that bad. In fact, if you self-heal enough, you may actually get your ult faster. The last few changes made in this patch are not hero related. The first is changes to overtime. Now when overtime occurs, it takes 2 extra seconds to respawn no matter which side you're on. And after overtime has been going for 20 seconds, the fuse will begin to tick down faster than it was before. I think this is a very good change because it promotes actually staying alive and using tactics rather than just rushing the point to keep resetting the fuse. The final change we see in this patch is the removal of hero stacking in competitive. This is something the community has been requesting for a very long time, and I'm really glad Blizzard went ahead and removed it, because for a while, they were super adamant about having hero stacking in the game. They were like, this is essential to the game, we think it's necessary, and I'm finally glad they listened to the community who said they didn't want it. I definitely think this is a good thing. I think it makes the game take more strategy than it did before, because you can't just stack maybe 2 Soldier 76s behind a Reinhardt, which actually wasn't a terrible strategy, and I think it will require people to think about their team comps a little more. Also, it cuts back on the amount of Hanzo and Genji mains you see in-game, because you can only have one when you're playing comp. Overall, I think this was a pretty good patch done by Blizzard. I think the game is a little bit more balanced and should be a little bit more fun to play now. If you agreed or disagreed with anything, be sure to give me your opinions down below. I'd love to hear them. I'd love to hear your reasoning. And if you enjoyed, be sure to leave a like and recommend to your Overwatch playing friends. I will see you guys all later. Lone Hawk out.